And I came up with a couple of things that I added to the mythos of what he looks like visually. But I was quite young and way more ambitious than I am today. So I'll show you sort of how I came up with this weird way to draw his webs that I thought was better. And the reason that I came up with the new webbing was, again, the same thing that we talked about yesterday, so that those webs could go towards camera, right? In the past, the webs weren't able to go towards camera. You always have to shoot it up, down, or sideways. And I just thought it looked silly. So if we go, let's go to, here's his hand here, and just to give you a little bit of history, let's click this one off. Oh, no, turn them both on. Let's add another page here, and let's fill it white so we can get a new one. Here's how it used to be, and again, I'm sure most of you guys have seen it. It used to be that they would draw like 3 lines or something like this, and they'd get skinny, and then they would put X's on everything. Go look at your old Spider-Man comic books, and essentially this is how his webs looked. And again, it served a purpose, and it worked okay, but it really worked a lot better if it was really small, right? Because you couldn't see it. The question is that if you started shooting it towards the camera, the only thing that was happening was that the X's would just get bigger, and it's like you shot this towards camera, it didn't look like webbing to me. So I wanted to try and see if I could come up with something that would be a little more realistic in terms of how you sort of make it go. So I always thought of it, I mean, again, we eventually ended up calling it spaghetti webbing. So I'll do another layer here, and we'll fill this in. And here's how it worked here. If we actually click this one off, you can see here's the hand. And what I'm talking about now is not the webbing on the costume. I'm talking about the webbing that comes out of the shooter when he goes like this, right? So if you think about it as either spaghetti sort of twisting, or if you think about like building a rope that was starting to fray, that's exactly what I was trying to do. So the way that it would work for me is, we'll go here and I'll put this layer on here, is that I would, and what was silly, and I'll show you why I was young and ambitious, is that there is essentially these lines. Again, you can do 3-4 lines, it doesn't matter. And here's sort of it shooting, and it's coming out of the hole. Let's say here's the hole here of the web shooter. And then what I would do is that I would just randomly then do these pieces on here and start to sort of wrap them like this. The problem is that maybe in the first couple issues I started crossing these lines. I didn't think that was very convincing. So I became almost super anal, if you will, at doing stuff so that I would actually do, let's say, my pencils, and I would take my pencils here, and if this was all gray, let me put another layer up on here and fill this in. And now I would just draw some lines real quickly with pencils, but when I was actually drawing it, this is where I got stupid. But again, it turned out kind of cool and we liked it. Is that I made it so that you could actually, if we get in here a little bit bigger, that you could actually follow the one thread. So I would then make this thing literally thick, like one piece of spaghetti, and again, hence the name. And then I would draw, again, you know, a couple lines here. Again, 1, 2, 3. I was a little more steady with some of it, let's say here. And then I would come back, and then I would even pretend that these were spaced, so then I would go and I would fill in some of the lines here, so it felt like that spaghetti piece went behind it, right? And then I would come up in here, maybe sometimes make another piece here, come up in here, this one would go back up in here, it would go up in here, and then I'd have the beginning of sort of fraying of how the spaghetti went. And then it was just a matter of me then going, you know, doing some circles. So I'd go big circle, and then I'd do small circle. But if if we look here, if I did a small circle, I tried to make sure that I went underneath it so it wasn't ever blocked. So I'd go again big here, small there, try to finish it up. And then maybe I take one of those, carry it over here, and maybe it would go here, here, back up in here. And they would all eventually connect, right? They would all eventually connect. I draw these lines And I'm doing it quick, but if you can imagine, I would do this on every panel, on every page, and you could see that I wasn't cheating it. So probably the biggest and best example is if you take a look at Spider-Man issue #1 and take a look at the 2-page spread and try and follow this one thread. You're going to be able to follow this one thread all the way through that double-page spread and go, wow, I literally spent hours just on the webbing just to get it to where I felt like I needed to get it. So then I'd come up here again, make some of it go through here, come in here, and then you would just continue it. And so essentially, if I turn it this way now, it was the same thing. Just small, 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 wiggle, wiggle, big. And it's all random. Again, one of the things that you're going to keep hearing me say about a lot of the drawing that I'm trying to teach you is that really there's not a lot of mistakes. So just keep doing it. Just keep doing stuff. Make it look cool, right? We're in the cool business. And we'd get up in here and we'd just keep drawing, 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 drawing. And then I'd go, oops, I need to finish some of these through here, right? Boom. All right, go here again, and then go, oop, I better finish on this side. Oops, better finish on this side. All right, if we can get it bigger here. I was always finishing going, does it feel like I can follow some of these? Does it feel like I can follow this? And again, when I was doing it, I was even more anal in that I'd make sure none of these lines cross. So I was quite adamant. At not being able to do it. Now, the other piece that I would add to it sometimes is that if that wasn't enough for me, after he was over here shooting out of his go back here. Here's his web shooter. He's shooting out of his web shooter here. So here, let's say here's the web shooter. If that wasn't sort of goofy enough, I would then make sure that when I was also inking it, I would give like a shadow to some of it. So some of the bottom pieces would be a little bit thicker. So it felt like there was just a little bit more substance to it. Maybe even somewhere in here, some of the back side of it, instead of making it clear, I would make it black so that you could get the sense that there was, again, a little bit of a shadow on some of this stuff. And I would fill in some of the lines. And I would just do that ad nauseum, panel after panel after panel after panel after panel. And that's why I sort of look back at it going, wow, I see I've gotten old, because if I was starting Spider-Man today, I don't know that I would have invented this look that basically gets there. But this is it first coming out there. But if you want to go small, like I said, it goes faster once you get small, because now, again, I would throw the lines real quickly. I'd go wham, 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 here, go up in here, small, small, big, small, small, big. I mean, I could do this real quickly, really fast. Given that the first lines I drew were pencil form. Here's the thing that's frustrating and staggering. They now have a tool on this computer in which you can almost do this without doing it. So let me show you. I wish I had it, because I was doing this all manual like you saw here. You can go to, I'll give another layer. You can go to a place right here. It's called Special Effects. And if you hit Special Effects, there's a thing called Stroke. If you hit Stroke, and you say, I want the stroke to be black, and I want it to be, let's say, 6 pixels wide. Okay, we'll start with 6. Then you go over here, and you pick your color. Where's my color? Right here. I don't want it to be black. I want it to be white. So let's just switch it to. Oh, I have to hit OK over here. So I want it to be white, and now watch what happens. This is ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Look at, I throw my lines. It already makes the lines on both sides, and then you go like this, and it basically almost does very quickly in 5 seconds what it used to take me hours to do. Now, the one thing that I don't like about this right now is that every time I cross a line when you're using Stroke, is that you don't get to finish your line. So to really do this properly, let me click out of here real quick. I'll click on here, and let me add another page here. We're going to go white. There we go. All right, so to do this properly, what should happen is I should do my line. Oh, I got to do Stroke again. Let's go to Stroke. Go back to Stroke. Hit it at 6. Let's say I just picked it. Make sure your color is white. Now watch this. So if I really wanted to do this properly. What? No, it's not. Why is it giving me? Oh, let me go back here. Oh, because I got that on. What? Uh-oh, I'm messing with you guys. Something's not happening. Stroke, yes. 6, okay. Let's go. Oh. Anyway, I'm going to have to go back and turn this one on. The way to really be able to do this is that I should be taking this, coming back in, and either coming in with a brush and finishing those lines. Or what you can do, and for some reason I'm not doing it real quick and I don't want to waste your time, is that I can go and use another layer and actually do another stroke, and then those lines will finish themselves up and cross over, right? And then you get it. So anyway, there's the quick, easy, sort of goofy way to do Spider-Man's web. As you can see, as they get small, it looks kind of cool, right? Have a little bit of fun with it, and that's it. So for all of you guys figuring out how to shoot webs towards camera, make them all crazy, that's how it's done. Go out there and do it. Todd, see you. Have a good weekend.